I love when coaches, consultants, and professional service providers want to do big things in their business. They want to rise to the top and influence their market and the world around them. They want to have a greater impact and make a more lucrative income. Well, if this is you, welcome to Expert in You Podcast, the show where I interview other experts and coaches, consultants, so that they can share their success strategies with you. We're going to talk about marketing and how to close more sales, how to get more premium clients, and how to really build your visibility in the market and scale your business like a boss. If this is you, welcome to the show. I want to ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell right now so you don't miss one episode. Grab your coffee and buckle up because we are ready to give it all to you to help you become the expert and get paid as the expert that you are. Hi, everyone. I want to welcome you back to another show of the Expert in You podcast. I'm your host, Jan Carden, and oh boy, are you going to love our show today. I have an amazing guest. She is a rock star in the NLP world, I should say. We'll talk more about that, but she is just a master at what she does, an expert at what she does. And I just can't wait for her to share all of her knowledge and her wisdom and her value and her experience with all of you today. So Derlene Hirtz, welcome to my show.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have so much fun. So much fun. She's just amazing. So first of all, let me just say, Derlene is the CEO of You Empowered Services, and she is an expert trainer and a master coach in the NLP world. And she has a program called Unstoppable Success. And the thing I love about her program is it's very different. She doesn't just train NLP. She also has merged experience, many years of experience, both for herself and with clients. And she has merged that into her program where people get tools and training that literally is life-changing, success-changing, business-changing. I mean, you're going to love this. Okay, so Derlene, let's jump in. And first of all, I want you to kind of give your backstory and let everyone know how you got into doing what you do today.
So 10 years ago or so, I was on this journey called life, right? Like we all are. And a couple of things happened that made me kind of go, And one day I recognized that along the way, along the life journey, right, that I had put, now I blamed other people at the time, right? But I had put such limits on everything in my life. Like there was always a ceiling to it, or there was always a brick wall. There was only so far I could go. And when I really started looking at that, it became very apparent to me that that was on just about every single area of my life, in my work, in my finances, even my value. Anne, I mean, what could be worse what could be worse than realizing the day that you've actually put a value on your life, that you have limited that.
And so many people do that without really even thinking about it. But
right, exactly. And I feel like I was gifted with the awareness, right? So few people actually get that. And when I realized that, just a culmination of events in life happened, and I decided that I've got to do something about it. And now I get to do something about it, right?
Oh, it sounds like you made a choice.
Well, I did.
Oh,
that's a powerful thing,
Yes, that's a really powerful thing to do.
Yeah.
I love it.
I always say that we can stand in our power or we can stand in our way. And we always get to make that decision. And once you really look at yourself and you say, I am the one standing in my way.
Yes.
And then make that choice. Now, what do I get to do about it?
I love it. So someone came into your path, I think, and introduced you to neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. And that was a life changer for you. And then you decided you wanted to go on this course or on this journey, I should say, to really become well trained in that and a master practitioner in that. And you have trained literally hundreds and hundreds of people have gone through your program, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was the truth be known that I remember I just had this conversation with a client last night. I remember the exact day when I thought, yep, I deserve this. Yes, I'm going to do this, because that meant taking vacation from work and going out to California for 65 days, right? Not right in a row.
Wow. How many people would do that? I mean, how many people would take that big of a leap and be all in? And you were all in.
100%.
I love it.
Yep. I never looked back. And I know that that one conversation that I had changed the complete trajectory of my life. 100%.
Yes.
And it's phenomenal. And that's what I love helping people do, you know?
Oh, I love it. What great work. But I want to talk about, okay, first of all, who you really help. Who are those perfect people that should really consider your Unstoppable Success program? Obviously, people really looking for a higher level of success. Those are your people. But can you explain a little bit who those people would be so that they can identify and say, oh, she's really talking to me?
Sure. I really love working with, like you said, high achievers, go-getters, people being entrepreneurs, business professionals, business owners.
Yes.
Their teams, all of those people, their employees.
Yes.
Who kind of go, yep, I know what success feels like. And I know that I'm not quite getting to my next level. And I can't figure out what's in my way. I'm going to say, like, there's something missing, right? A missing piece.
Yes.
And those are the people that I'm after, because I know what I do is different than what everybody else out there does, in terms of training and coaching and all of the things that go into creating an environment for you to go, yep, I knew this was it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Well, and the thing that I love about your program too, Derlene, because I'm very familiar with what you do, obviously. And the thing I love is that when people go through your program, it doesn't just affect their business and their success and their bank account and their finances and their future, but it changes their families. It changes their relationships. It changes relationships with their employees. I mean, not only do they see more success, but they get everyone else on course to have more success as well. Is that right?
Oh, 100%. It is so interesting when you start shifting a person, when you actually physically and mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever that is, when they start shifting and all of a sudden they say to you, oh my gosh, my employee was so much more receptive to what I had to say. And I just got to go, imagine,
Yes.
Or the conversation with my husband last night. We've never had a conversation like that before. I think he actually heard me. Imagine that, right?
Yes.
And that's just start showing up everywhere. And one of the things that I see is that in the world of finances, right? All of a sudden, you understand your value, you understand your potential, and all of a sudden, the way that you even used to think and speak about money, that's all shifted, right?
Yes.
I recently had a conversation with somebody who said, well, I don't want to be a millionaire. And I'm thinking, not my person. Not
right. Right. Because they're putting that limit. They're putting that limit. I actually want to speak to this for a minute because several of my clients actually have been through Derlene's program. And I know that I said this to you one day. I said, I love helping people build their business that are coming out of your program because they have such a different mindset. They are so ready for a higher level of success, which ultimately helps me get them faster results because they already now want it. They're ready to do it. They're ready to do the work. They just need the strategy and how to make things happen in their business. So I love that. And so I have personally seen firsthand the people that have gone through your program and what has happened in their life and in their success and even in the impact that they are making in other people's lives. It's phenomenal. It really is a ripple effect. It's just amazing. And even know people. And I get excited about this too, because I love that we're changing people's lives. I love that we're impacting people's future. And I know some of the people, even some of the struggles and the hurdles that they had before they went through your program. And I see completely different people now, which is just phenomenal. These very, forward thinking, highly driven, wanting the very best in every area of their life, but not just for themselves, for other people around them, which it's incredible. It's incredible to see the results that are coming out of your program.
Yes, I agree with you 5,000%, right? And
or 1,000,000%.
There you go. And I get super excited, even as you were talking about them. You're getting my buy-in, right? Because I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
And I know the first day that I met them, and to see them flying so high.
Yes.
And just knowing that I got just a little bit to do with that. And it really wasn't me, right? I'm only the vessel, right? There's this incredible program behind all of it that helps that happen. And I realized that I was kind of the chosen vessel in a sense, right?
Yes. We believe it's our calling, right? Yes. To do what we do.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it is so interesting, because when I set this out, I can remember one time having a conversation about, what do you want to do? I want to be a part of the transformation of the world, right? That's what I want to do. Who doesn't want to be a part of that, right?
Right.
And then when you look in the mirror, you go, well, guess who it has to begin with? Me.
Yeah.
And then as you transform, it's an energy thing, right? I show up with different energy.
Yes.
And all of a sudden I'm attracting different energy. And
yes.
All of a sudden, I don't know how it was for you, but when we were all in that room together a couple of weeks ago, and we're in this room, and we all kind of talk on a different level, because we know what we know in the terms of mindset.
She's talking about the luxury retreat, that marketing and media retreat that we just did a couple of weeks ago, which was phenomenal. But yes,
it was great. It was awesome. However, and I think you actually sat in there and witnessed part of a conversation with one of the girls and myself, and you kind of saw how it worked all right there.
Yes, and I actually got to see it in action, which was really interesting for me. Yes.
We're turning to you going, yes. Well, Ann, and that is NLP.
Yes. But the other thing, and I've also been to your boot camp. And so I have witnessed you training, the breakthroughs that people got in the room got. It was incredible. And so I know what a rock star you are, which is why you're on here with me, because you are a true expert. I just want to say that. She has had thousands and thousands of hours of training in what she's done. And she truly is an expert, transforming lives, transforming businesses, transforming success. You even had a client, let's talk about this for a minute, that went from, oh my gosh, these crazy results. So they were, $500,000, I think.
She was at $750,000 a year, obviously. And I think we worked together for about 2 years, and she had hit her 3 million mark. I remember that she sent me this text, and she goes, I hit my 3 million mark.
That's so awesome. And the thing is, did she hire you really she didn't hire you for business strategy. She hired you to keep working with her on her mindset, on her thinking, to keep moving her forward, because we're always getting breakthroughs. I am still consistently getting breakthroughs in my business, in my life.
Yes.
And that was why you were working with her, right?
Yes, 100%. I remember the day she called. She said, I've got this business. She's in Chicago, and I've got it running. It's up and running. It's great. I got some stuff going on at home. I wonder if you can help me shift my mindset around this. And I'm in myself. Right?
And 2 years later, there you are.
Yeah,
there she
I'm kind of giggling, going, oh, well, watch what this will do to your business when you show up different in life. Right.
Right.
So yeah, it was just so much fun watching that. And now watching her on Facebook, continuing to grow and just evolve in her business and her life, and knowing that what she learned in with me is she just put that directly into her girls. And I mean, really, what could be better than that, right?
I know. So cool. And the thing is, I really love this, because Derlene and Ann, we really
we could be powerhouses together, right? Because I teach the strategy and I teach the practical stuff and all the stuff that people need to know to build a successful business. But that will only go so far if people won't implement, if they don't have the right mindset, if they stand in their own way, if they're always just trying to get out of pain and that's as far as they ever want to go, and they're not seeking higher level success. And I want to talk about that because I think that's a really important key. A lot of people, the reason they never hit big levels is because they're always trying to get out of pain. It's whatever the challenge or the struggle is right now, that's as far as they can see in front of them. And people that reach high levels, people that are millionaires and billionaires, they're seeking success. They're not trying to get out of the pain they're in at the moment. They're just looking at that like a bump in the road and what's my next step. And it's a very different way of thinking in people that are really successful and driven to success in all areas of their life. I'm not just talking about business.
Right.
But they're looking to reach new heights, and that's their drive. It's almost like they're in competition with themselves. It's like, how can I better what I am doing? It's not about, oh, how can I make this pain go away? How can I make this pain stop? Those are two different people. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because the people who stop see life as a challenge. When they hit that bump, one of the things that just drives me crazy when people say life is so hard, and I'm like, hard? I said, it depends on what you choose, right?
Right.
It's not about that bump being a challenge. It is about that bump being an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to go to the next level, right? Because reality is we have no growth on the mountaintop.
That's
we
right.
only grow in the valley. So
and nobody likes the bumps. Let's just get that straight. No one, we love when things are moving along and things are awesome and everything's going great and we're happy and we're excited. No one loves the bumps, but the thing is, when you have the right tools, when you understand how to get through the bumps, it's like you said, your mind goes to, where's the opportunity here? Okay, what's my opportunity? It's not, okay, this is miserable and this stinks and it's just a very different way of thinking. And
100%.
Yeah.
That brought to my mind a literal speed bump, right? What happens when we see a speed bump? And so I've seen people just go so fast over them and not even acknowledge it, right? And thinking that, that was cool until they have to get a new muffler. Or the people who approach the speed bump with caution, they look at it and they go, yeah, I got this. They drive over the speed bump and they move forward. That's a great metaphor. That's a great
It really is. I love it.
Probably keep that.
See, great things come out of these conversations. I love it. But I do think it's important because you are looking for the people who are looking for their next level of success. And they're looking for the tools that can help them get to that next level of success. And maybe there's a missing piece, like you said, something is maybe holding them back, or they're kind of, they know what to do, but it's not happening for them. Those are your people, the people that are really seeking higher levels, a better life, bigger future. They have big goals, big vision. Those are your people, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm all over that. And which is really a super, super cool, with what I do, because when people say, who do you help? And, the easy answer is, I can help everybody, right?
No, we don't do that.
We don't. Yeah, exactly. The reality is that's not who I choose to help. I know it's so important to surround yourself with people, right? The people that support you, the people who, that energy, back to that energy. And so guess what happens when I surround myself with go-getters and high achievers and they hit their bump and they're ready to go, okay, can you just give me a little help here? I need to get over my bump. Can I have some new tools? Can I have create a new mindset around this so that I can move forward? Those people just even talking about it just like makes me crazy.
I know it gets it. Well, we were just talking about the event, and I just remember when everyone was sitting in the room, and boy, the ideas were just flying, and the energy was just flying, and everyone was laughing, and everyone was supporting everyone. That is who you want to be surrounded with, people that are playing a bigger game, people that are doing bigger things, people that are, they're looking for higher levels of success, and there's no competition, right? Everyone in there was in there 100% supporting each other. And the energy that was in the room was just, it was incredible. I mean, the pictures even show it. We took pictures and that shows it. And those are the people. Those are the people that really benefit from your program. Of course, it benefits anyone, but the people that really benefit from your program are the people that have gone to the seminars. They've done the trainings. They've been through mentorship, and they've done all of the stuff, but they're very growth minded. They're very success minded, very growth minded, but they're still missing something. There's tools that they still don't have. And that is what your program does, right?
Right. 100%. My program focuses on
Gosh, I'm selling your program for you here, Derlene.
You go, Ann, you go.
It is incredible, though. I just have to say, keep going. All right.
And what I know about so many of the programs and the motivational programs, the training programs, all those things, they're at a very conscious level, like it's right here. Right. Mm-hmm. And what I focus on is the unconscious level, because that truly is where 90% of our being is existing is in our unconscious level.
Like the iceberg, right?
100%. Yes.
So your subconscious, your unconscious mind is under the water, what you cannot see.
Yep. And that's where all the gold is underneath that. I love that. I use the iceberg all the time, because it makes the most sense and it's such a great visual.
Yes.
So just that top part is your conscious mind, and it's thinking that it's doing all this stuff for you, right? Oh, yes. In reality, everything that comes out of your mouth is all a reflection of your deep-seated, underneath the surface values, behaviors, patterns, and programming, and all of those things that I only can respond to you based on that. And if you never shift that, then you are really basically operating on a level of a 7-year-old, because that's kind of when we stop that.
Okay, talk about that a little bit. Let's dive into that.
Oh, sure.
That sounds a little crazy. I know. That sounds a little crazy that, what do you mean I'm operating like a 7-year-old? I don't think most people would enjoy being a 7-year-old adult. So talk about that.
So we are imprinted in our 0 to 7 years old. That's where we learn from the adults in our life, our parents, our grandparents, our teachers, our older siblings, all of them, what they model for us in terms of anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, love, happiness. All of those emotions are wrapped up in our modeling of 0 to 7 years old. Mm-hmm. And I say 7-ish is fair, right? Mm-hmm. And what happens is we take those and we move right into a modeling stage. So how you've seen I'm thinking of my cousin right now. He walks just like his father. Well, unconsciously, he's modeling that. And you think, oh my gosh, I could tell who that is, even without even seeing the face.
I think I've seen some of my moms show up in me a few times.
Oh yeah.
That kind of blew my mind. I was like, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah, it's so true.
Just like her. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we take that right into our socialization years. Mm. And so that's what's so important about that good, strong foundation. But what happens is 0 to 7, we sort of quit learning that, in the sense out of an unconscious level. We start reacting to that. Does that make sense?
Yes. It's why adults sometimes you're like, maybe you should just grow up a little bit.
Yes.
Is that a good example?
Yes. Or you say to your spouse, you're acting like a child.
Yes.
It's because they're operating on the mind of a child.
Wow.
Right?
I mean, that's amazing for people to really know and understand.
Yeah,
it's things like in perspective.
Yes, 100%. And part of it is, the big kahuna of it is that we upgrade our phones, we upgrade our computers, we upgrade our clothes, we update our cars. all the time. And that works for a hot second until advertising tells us, guess what? There's a new phone. Guess what? There's this new car. And so we're out to get that because we're trying to satisfy something that's going on inside of us.
Oh,
so it doesn't matter how many cars you buy. It doesn't matter how many outfits you wear. If this is not working on the inside, you're going to keep trying to satisfy that. And that, I get the chills even saying it. That is what I love about what I do, is being able to help people master that inner code so that outer code can work.
And even just have that internal joy and peace and happiness that has to start with you. You have to, I of course, helping people make money, right? And people go, oh, money doesn't buy you happiness. And I look at that phrase right there and I know it absolutely does not. But the fact that you even say that tells me there's a problem.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Yes. Money doesn't buy happiness. What money does is provide us with more fun. And statistically, people who truly understand that money doesn't buy happiness, what they do with their money is they reinvest in themselves internally.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Every single person that I read about has gone back to, if they're truly, like, you can be successful and not happy, right? I mean,
right, absolutely.
We have a plethora of people to choose from, right? And then to be successful and happy, that's really the rare breed, is because they truly know that it doesn't matter how big their boat is, it doesn't matter how fancy their clothes are,
right? That
none of that matters. It is always, always, always internal.
Yes. Oh my gosh, 100%. I love that. And I do think, and you talk a lot about the language that comes out of your mouth, right? The words that you say and just your thinking. And so it's very easy. I have to talk about this though, because it was kind of funny. So we were at the retreat. There was something when we were all sitting in the room, there was something that came up, and all of you mindset girls made a point about it. And I think I remember saying to the other people in the room, I know, isn't it annoying that they can read us? It was something about reading us or reading our reaction or reading our words, or it was something like that, because you really have learned to see things on such a deeper level than what most people are able to see. I don't want to say you're mind readers, but because of the training that you've had, you are able to tap into things in people or see things that other people cannot see if they haven't been through that. And I think it's really fascinating, actually.
It is.
I bet you read me all the time.
Now.
I don't want to know.
One of the simplest things that I do with my clients, one of the easiest things to do is when they say, oh, I have to get up and go to work tomorrow. And so I literally have them stand up and I say, now say that again. Oh, I have to go to work tomorrow. And then I say to them, now say, I get to go to work tomorrow. And they go, I get to go to work.
Big shift. Yes.
Tomorrow. And all of a sudden, I mean, I can feel that internally just talking about it.
I can feel it too when I say it. Yes.
And so it's just learning kind of that language. And then when you talk about reading people, just learning about how where your eye moves, I can tell if you're thinking, if you're feeling, if you're making something up, I can tell all of that now with a lot of practice, right?
Yeah.
And then how to communicate with people on a whole different level. If I see you pulling your eyes down one way, I'll think, oh my gosh, she's a thinker. If I see your eyes going the other way, I'm like, she's really feeling this. And so that changes the way that I use language for you. It's sort of like you look at somebody and you're having this conversation with them and you're thinking, oh my gosh, are they talking a foreign language? I'm not getting this at all. Right. They're communicating in the way that you get to receive that communication. and they aren't
Yes.
aware of it. They don't have the training for it.
I love this. And this is so, so important for high-level professionals, for leaders, for people running teams, for people that are in leadership roles or running a business, entrepreneurs, how you show up, we talked about energy, we talked about all of that, but not just how you show up, but how you are communicating with clients and customers and employees and getting the best out of people. That's really what this whole process, what your Unstoppable Success program really does. It gets the best out of people, but not just them, the people around them when they apply it. Is that fair to say?
Yes. One of the things that I really love about this program is that the first thing off the bat that we talk about is motivation. And people say, oh, I'm not motivated. Well, reality is you are motivated. What you get to figure out is, what are you motivated towards or what are you running from? Huge difference, right? And what happens is that employers have a goal set for themselves or has been set for them. And they hire somebody and they think, well, this is my goal. And so this is what that employee needs to do to help me reach my goal.
Right.
When in fact, the only reason why that employee has shown up in that job is
because you're paying them.
Well, you're paying them, but they're running from, they've got bills to pay. They've got a family to feed. They might have some medical bills. That's a whole different reason to show up to work, as opposed to, I am working straight up for that bonus so I can take my kids to Disneyland, right?
Right. You can see the difference. Yes.
And the conversation is entirely different that you have with that employee. And the same is true with your clients, your customers. Just asking them a few questions and you can help shift that. It's amazing. I love it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Now you actually have a Unstoppable Success Boot Camp coming up. And it is local in the St. Louis area. So if you are in this area or if you're in the surrounding areas, you can come to that boot camp. But I know Derlene is working. I think down the road here, we're going to be doing that virtually, right? We're working on that process. Yes, that's in the plans. So right now it is just local, but she can still coach you. She can still train you. So even if you are not local, she works with people virtually as well within her program. She can come in and work with your companies. She can come in and work with your teams. There are just no limits as to what her program can help people do. And I love it. And you actually have me so passionate about your program just because I have seen the results of people that have gone through it. And it's just been phenomenal. The changes and the differences. And again, and I know I said this earlier, but not just in themselves, but in the people around them and in the people that they're helping. Yeah. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing to watch.
One of the things that I had in mind when I designed this program was something that you and I had talked about, and we talked about it extensively and I hear it, right? I'm out networking and I hear people say this all the time about, I cannot keep my employees. I can't retain them. I can't even find them. I mean, fill in the blank, right? But let's talk about just retaining them.
Yes.
And part of that is that, number one, you aren't speaking to them effectively. You aren't investing in them.
Yes.
Because reality is people do not leave their work. They leave their employer.
That's 100%. Yeah. I say that all the time. People don't leave their job. They will leave a construction company to go work for another construction company, swinging the same hammer, doing the same job, but one employer is better to work for than the other. And that's so important for people in business to understand. And they don't often understand that.
Yeah. I think that as the boss, here's what you get to look at. If you're having employees come in and out, there's a common denominator.
Yes.
And you get to look at that aspect of it. And sometimes it is, sometimes it's very humbling to look in the mirror and go, wonder if that's me. And so that's a great place for somebody who is really a high achiever. And yet all of a sudden these things are happening and they think, okay, something's in my way here. Something's in my way. What is it? And to say, ooh, I might be the common denominator here. That's why I'm not being more successful, which PS, by the way, it is always about us.
Yes. And I actually really do love that you're bringing this up, because one of the things that makes high achievers is they are always self-assessing, not to the point that they stop themselves from moving forward, but they are always, that's what we mean by when we say a growth mindset. You're always looking for improvement in yourself. And it's kind of like, I think I said earlier, you're always kind of competing with yourself to be better, to do better, to be more. And it isn't about, it's not ego driven. And that is a big difference. I think there are a lot of people that are achieving success and it's ego driven. It's about feeding their ego. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a deep level of fulfillment because you're being your best. You're showing up as your best self. You're building your business in the best way that you can. And you're looking to achieve, not for ego, but really more for satisfaction and for fulfillment, because you know you were called to do more. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%. It's what we were talking about earlier between success, having all the money in the world, but not having that fulfillment.
Yes. And there are a lot of unhappy millionaires and billionaires out there.
Really, we just have to open the paper, right? Or we have to maybe open up Hollywood, right? I mean, filled with it, right?
Yes.
And then the people who are truly very wealthy, millionaire, billionaire, gazillionaires that are so very joyful and so very happy and fulfilled. I mean, really, such a beautiful word, fulfillment. And those people know, once again, speed bump, learning opportunity,
right?
Move on. And it does, when you talk about ego, that is, I mean, that's that very, that wall that stands between truly success and taking a step back, let's just say.
Yes.
Because you just keep hitting against that because your ego will not allow you to say,
So Derlene, this has been such an awesome conversation. I have loved diving into this and really letting people know what your training and everything is all about. But can you walk us through your process so that people can really get a clear understanding of what you take them through if they were to reach out to you or to want to come to your program, to your boot camp? So can you walk us through? I know you have like a 5-step process.
Yeah. So the first thing that we talk about is motivation, lasting motivation, forward motivation, one that's going to be with you for the rest of your life, right? And the second thing that we'll go through is about communicating effectively, because that is the root of much success.
Yes.
Is being able to do that.
You can't grow in a vacuum, can you?
Nope.
So, all right, keep going.
And it just gets kind of dirty in the vacuum, side note. Whatever. And so then we go through identifying values. And that's something else that I really, truly love to talk about, because we show up with a very conscious level of values. And so like as an example, I would tell you that I began my business because I wanted to model for my granddaughters how to be a successful, strong, brilliant, confident businesswoman. That's why I would have told you, prior that I wanted to do this. In reality, my number one value is the integrity of helping people break through what's holding them back, break through the ceiling, break through the barriers. That is I mean, I get the chills even saying it, right? So it must be top value.
It's,
right?
Yeah, that passion, right?
Yeah, just learning all of that about the value system and how when you recognize your employees' values, when you recognize your clients' values and you can speak to that, they can hear you and want to be a part of your product, service, or your solution, right?
Yes.
We move up from there and we're talking about mastering the inner self, which really the conversation was about.
Yes.
Until we get that straight, it's not going to matter about that.
Until you realize you have to do that if you're going to achieve higher levels. Yes.
That level there is a huge breakthrough moment for the clients. And then we always have the payoff, right? And the payoff is, voila, how do you show up in your life, in your business? What does success look for you different, to you now? Usually people walk into boot camp not even being able to define what success is to them. They think that there is this this, I have to say it's making $1 million a success. Well, it's different for all of us,
Right.
in context, right? In all different levels of life.
Yes.
And how cool is it when you can balance or even harmonize, which is actually a much better term, harmonize that life wheel. So that all of it is running not like a flat tire,
Right.
like a well-aired tire.
Yes. I love it. And that's one of the things that's so important, because I am such a believer that you want success in all areas of your life. It's not about just making money. It's not about, just having a great business. It's not about just having great health or having great relationships or a strong faith. It's about all of it. It's all of it. And that's what you're talking about. The inflated tire, everything running. Yep. So that you're at your best.
Yes, because we know that how we show up, what happens at home comes right into the business.
Yes.
That business comes right into the home, right? I mean,
yes.
Even saying that, the listeners are going to go, oh yeah, I remember when I was crabby and woo.
Right. 100%. You cannot separate the two.
And that happens with all of the life wheel. How I'm showing up in health has something to do with how I'm showing up in business.
Yes.
Something to do is how I'm showing up in my personal life. All of that happens like that. And so, like you said, inflating the entire tire where it's well balanced, where everything's working in harmony together. Really, what could be better than that?
And that is one of the things that I think makes your program completely different from just a lot of NLP training. There is a lot of NLP training out there, but the thing that makes your program so different is you really are reaching it you're really doing a very holistic approach to this training. This is a piece of all of it. And so that's why your Unstoppable Success brings a lot of other components into it as well, experience and even client results and things like that. And what you've learned, and your program encompasses all of that. And that is what sets it completely apart from just getting an NLP certification or just getting that training. Is that accurate?
Yes, I think that that's very true, as well as my program is really after the personal transformation involved in all of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to just give you knowledge. That is a great place to start. Mm-hmm. And everybody says, everybody, that's kind of untruthful.
We knew what you meant.
We hear that.
Yes.
The knowledge is power. But really, it's the knowledge and action is where the power is.
It's implementing the knowledge. That's the power.
Which is what I love when you can actually, probably my favorite part of everything I do is watching the light bulb go on, watching the aha moments.
Oh, I know.
The tears come out of the eyes from stoic men who were never going to get in touch with those feelings ever. They weren't taught to do that. And seeing a little tear drip down because they realized that they're actually really, truly in control and responsible for their own life and their own success.
And actually, that is really an empowering feeling to know that you have more control. I have to tell you, so going back many, many years when I had my, one of my businesses, I remember talking about in limiting beliefs. I know that's kind of a life coachy thing, but I can remember I had a health club in a small town, and I had heard someone say at a conference that you'll only get 10% of the population into a health club or into a gym, only 10%. I would run the numbers, me being a number person, I would run the numbers and I would say, okay, this is how many people are in our town, and take out the kids, right? This is how many people. And if we look at 10% of those people, how many health clubs are in our town? And I would literally run those numbers. Talk about limiting beliefs. That's why when I wrote my first book, and I know I showed this to you, when I learned that I had more control than that, when I learned that success was all, it started with having a success mindset. It was the first chapter in my first book that I wrote. Because it was such a game changer. Talk about the aha and the light bulb going on. Mm-hmm. I was one of those people 30 years ago, or I don't know, 20 something years ago. So I haven't talked about that story before, but
that in the same, in that context, however, in a different scenario, obviously, hearing for the first time, choice is a powerful thing, suffering is optional. Mm-hmm. I remember when I used to think that I didn't have a choice, that I didn't have that.
How many people think that?
Oh.
I mean, people are walking around every day thinking that.
Yes.
Yes.
And the day that I thought, wait a minute, I do. And the suffering is really optional because I get to make the choice of how I'm going to respond to anything. I always call choices.
Right.
It's my superpower, is my ability and my knowledge that I get to make a choice.
Yes.
Right? And there is so much empowerment in there. It just is amazing.
Yes. You know, we can all look around and we can see people that, like, I can look around and I can see people that I think, oh my gosh, this would change their entire life. But then people have to want it and they have to be seeking it. You can lead a horse to water, right?
Right.
But a lot of times people would not even watch a pod or listen to a podcast like this or watch a video like this because they're not in the, who was it? Jim Rohn said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Right.
And so you're not looking for the people that aren't ready. They wouldn't see this anyway, right? Or hear this anyway. But I think that's an important thing to know is, and gosh, we could say a lot of cliche quotes here. The other one is the most expensive thing you'll ever have in life is a closed mind. I don't remember who said that, but I learned that years ago, and so much truth to that.
Oh, yeah.
So much truth to that. And you opened their mind.
Yes.
You changed it.
Yes. One of the greatest books I've read is Carol Dweck's Mindset.
Mm-hmm.
He is sort of like the forerunner in really studying the mindset, fixed versus growth, and knowing what I know about the neurology, the science behind all of this. Mm-hmm. It is when people say to me, oh, that can't work for me, or that'll never work, or whatever, fill in the blank. I just am like, oh my gosh. And then I think about Jim Rohn.
Does it make you just want to shake them and say, you have no idea? Yes. I feel like that as a coach sometimes. You have no idea.
Yeah. And then sometimes you just have to really be honest with yourself and just go, well, they're not my people.
Yeah,
because
they're not ready. Yeah, they're not ready.
Right. Jim Rohn says, we're the sum of the 5 people we surround ourselves with.
Yes, ma'am.
Pay attention. Who is it that you're surrounding yourself with? You know?
So important. So important. Some of those people that, have passed on and they just, Jim Rohn was probably, going back so many years, but he was probably one of the first people I was exposed to on a path to growth. I should say a mindset of growth. He was one of the first people. He was a teacher that showed up when the student was ready. And I still love hearing him. I even wrote some of his quotes in my books that I wrote, that he shared, and Zig Ziglar and some of those icons that, were around many, many years ago. But it's just, this is so cool. This is such cool stuff. We could talk about this literally all day.
Forever.
We really could.
Forever.
We really could. But okay, so I have to value your time. So let's wrap this up. But Derlene, how can people get a hold of you and really either coach with you if that's what they're looking for, get your training, get into your boot camp, whatever it is they're looking for. Also, she is on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and she's putting out videos and she's doing other stuff. But how can they reach you? And how would you like them to get a hold of you?
Email me at Derlene. So my name is Derlene at U Empowered Services, all spelled out, YOU Empowered Services.
We'll put the link in the show notes. Don't worry about it.
Good. Thank you.
Yes.
And that's probably the best way. And
but also connect with her on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Or on Facebook.
Connect with me on LinkedIn. And
she's
Facebook.
Dropping gold.
Yeah, I would love. Yeah, I just would love to have conversation and share with people how it is that I get to help them.
Yes.
One-on-one personal conversation level. That'd be great.
She knows her stuff. I'm telling you, she's amazing. So.
Which is really cool. Part of this whole growth, right? Growth versus fixed mindset is, if there is one thing that I am absolutely confident and comfortable saying to you is, I know my stuff.
You do. All you have to do is listen to her for a few minutes and you'll know. We didn't really talk about the neuroscience part of it a lot, but that is what her entire program is around. It's really getting into the scientific side of your mind. I mean, that we don't even tap into what is really possible and the power that we really have in our mind. And so this helps you do that.
Yeah, one of my favorite sayings from a woman that I flew down to Texas to listen to, because she herself is a neuroscientist. And she said that science is finally answering what God has told us all along. And so that whole harmonization of, like listening to Jim Rohn or even Earl Nightingale before him.
Yes.
Hearing what he says. And now you see that science is revealing that to be the exact truth. We create as we speak. I mean, Earl Nightingale was saying that decades ago. And science is like, well, you know what? You create as you speak. Oh, yeah, he was right. That's what I really love. I start geeking out about this. I should
Okay, well, geek out and reach out to Derlene and connect with her. And I love it. I actually love this stuff too. And, I just think it's fantastic that we even have these tools, that we even have these resources, and for people to not be tapping into them, oh my goodness, they are missing out big time.
Yep.
So they're stopping themselves from what they really could have, and the life and the joy and the fulfillment and everything that they really could have. So super cool stuff. Super cool. Derlene, thank you so much. This has been a blast. We went a long time. This was,
I don't even know.
Really fun.
Oh yeah, we did.
We did. But I'm about to lose my voice again, I think, a little bit. So, all right. So thank you for being on, and everyone, have a fantastic week. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like this, share it with someone else that needs to hear this, and reach out to Derlene, and God bless you all. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ann.
If you've enjoyed this episode, I want to invite you to go check out a free training that I have at expertinu.us. It is a training that I have on how you can get ultra premium dream clients, scale your business, get more freedom, and really simplify your business and multiply your money. So go check that out. And again, that is expertinu.us. I want to thank you for being here with me this week. I hope you found massive value. Please always leave a comment, feedback, or a question. We check them all. And I want you to go rock your business, and make sure you join us again next week. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.